Wolves have lost out in the Carabao Cup, crashed out in the quarter-finals to Nottingham Forest. It was a 1-1 draw, but losing out on penalties. Frustrating game. I think Wolves had areas of the game we played really, really well in. But there's little things that I think it cost us today. We should have killed the game off in 90 minutes, no doubt about it. Wolves started a fairly strong team, a few more changes from the FA Cup draw against Liverpool at Anfield. We saw Jose Sarr in goal. A back five today of Aït-Nouri at left wing back, Semedo at right wing back. The back three was Kilman, Totti and Johnny. Midfield two, Matinho and Nunes. And front three of Hwang, Guedes and Jimenez. And Wolves started off so slow. It was a really poor first 10-20 minutes or so. Forest having a little bit of the ball and winning the set pieces, and that's where the goal came from. Gibbs White whipped the ball in, and I mean Wolves just react too slow to it, and it's Sod's law. It's Willy Bolly there to sort of tap it home. That gave Wolves a little bit of a wake-up call. We grew into the game a little bit more, but I think the thing that really cost us in that first half was the back five. I was really surprised Lopetegui went with it, especially with how strong we were against Liverpool with the 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1. I thought having Johnny, Aït-Nouri and Semedo all on, it almost gave him the option to switch to that halfway through the first half. You could have put Johnny back at left back and Aït-Nouri further forward to have the 4-2-3-1. But for whatever reason, we stuck with a back five and it didn't really work. Our biggest chance in the first half was through Jimenez. Good ball through to him, and it's a chance you would really expect the Jimenez probably a pre-injury to put in the back of the net, but at the moment he doesn't look half the player, does he, unfortunately. But yeah, half-time came at the right time for Wolves, gave Lopetegui a chance to turn things around. Neves came on for Guedes and things changed quickly. Second 45, we were on top completely. Again, I think we've got to be a little bit more clinical in front of goal and try and create these chances. There were just times where certain players were probably a little bit too slow on the ball and got to make their decisions a little bit quicker. We'll talk about the goal. It was came really from Cunha, who came off the bench halfway through the second half. But Nunes found a ball to him on the right-hand side and a fantastic cross low across the goal. And it would have been harder for Jimenez to miss. But yeah, in the right place at the right time. And it's good for him, obviously, to be back on the score sheet. But yeah, disappointed. I think there was areas, again, Nunes on the ball, bossed it again, but the distribution from him today was a little bit sloppy. I think, Adama came on and it was obvious Wolves wanted to get him on the ball and drive the ball forward, but it was just no second or plan B for him. It was just sort of keep that in the corner. But Forest were very quick to pin players on him after they took the lead, just Henderson taking his time on goal kicks as they were. And just trying to gain territory, get that ball up the pitch. But I thought we kept Forest very, very quiet. Other than the set pieces in the first half, they had one or two half chances in the second half. But Wolves should have done it. The game sort of fell off towards the end, though, unfortunately. Graham Scott, and I'm sick of having to talk about referees on these reviews. We know what happened on Saturday with a dreadful refereeing display. The same thing has happened today. Graham Scott, there's a reason you don't see him refereeing too many Premier League games, but it was another poor display from him. Blatant penalty towards the end of the game on Matheus Nunes wasn't given. Then it tipped over the edge a little bit. I think Pedence wasn't happy with a couple of things that were said towards him. He gets booked. And then obviously we go on to penalties, which I just had a bad feeling for. Correct me if I'm wrong, historically, I don't think Wolves have got a great history with penalty shootouts. Dean Henderson is a good goalkeeper for saving penalties. And we got off to a good start. Obviously, Jose Sarr saving the first penalty, but then unfortunately Neves missing. Then we go towards the fourth penalty where Morgan Gibbs White, little stutter, almost bottles it and then gives it the big one to the Wolves fans. Cunha scores and copies his celebration. And then, obviously, unfortunately, Joe Hodge, the youngster, misses the final penalty. And towards the end of the game, I don't know what's happened. There's a little bit of a brawl in the middle of the pitch. But, yeah, let's see. It's frustrating, but let's see who's laughing at the end of the season. Wolves are out of the Carabao Cup, of course. I think, City are out. I think anybody could win it now in that Final Four. I would have backed Wolves to have a chance. But, yeah, based on today, I think Wolves were the better team. But it's the same old story, not putting the ball into the back of the net. And Gibbs White doesn't get a kick for 80 minutes, gives it the big one towards the end of the game. Let's see what happens for a club that gave him all of that for his career. It obviously shows how much he cares about Wolverhampton Wanderers. A Manchester United fan from Stafford says it all. Guys, it's finished. Forest 1, Wolves 1. Unfortunately, Forest winning on penalties, but we'll see you next time.